What's up? How you doing? Here we are. Beautiful evening today. Beautiful evening. Saturday evening. This is the perfect time to read the Saturday Evening Post. Have a nice comfortable chair, open it up and start reading. I haven't read that in years, but it sounds old-fashioned to me, so I like that. Anyway, just kicking back here. The only thing missing is a nice 18-ounce glass of iced tea with big chunks of ice, clear, crystal clear. Anyway, I've noticed something that's been happening a lot more now. I mean, I've noticed it many years ago, but now it's even more popular. So let's say it doesn't matter where you are. You could be at the pharmacy, you could be at the supermarket, you can be at the bakery, you could be at the auto parts store. It does not matter. What you hear now is next guest. They refer to me as guest and everybody else who's in line. Next guest. First of all, that's ridiculous. In my time, you said next customer, which is accurate. You're a customer, you're not a guest. I'm not invited by you to come here and shop. Why am I being charged if I'm a guest? I find that gets on my nerves a little bit, a little bit on my nerves when I hear somebody at the cash register calling me guest. Next guest, please. Next guest. I'm not a guest. I'm not a guest there. I'm a customer. So I don't know who decided on this, but whoever did, everybody's caught on now. Everybody says the same thing. Next guest. One day I want to say, call me customer, or just say next in line. That's fine. But to say I'm a guest there, I'm not a guest. I invite people to my house. They're guests when they come here. Have like a birthday party or barbecue. At the end of it all, I don't tally up what they ate and charge them. Say, hey, $50, 57 for you. You're my guest. You only charge customers. You don't charge guests. So I don't know why they came up with that. Is that supposed to make you feel like you're part of the family there? I belong here, I'm a guest. Ridiculous. Anyway, so it's one of those quiet evenings. The street lights are not on yet. It's not dark enough. I've noticed that these things are not they're not timed on any specific time to turn on. Sometimes, for example, they could come on at 7:57. Sometimes they come on at 7:50. Other times they come on at 8:03. There's been many times when I'm out here and I'll see it go on and I'll look and I go, oh, okay. And then the next night I'm here again and I look and I go, it's like 3 minutes earlier tonight. So they have them random, but I don't know what it's based on. I feel it. LAPD coming by. Helicopters, I've never been on a helicopter, but they seem fun. But when they go down, they go down. Yeah, that's what it is, LAPD. Yeah, there's no air resistance, there's no wings, there's nothing. It goes down, it just drops like a rock. Or an airplane. An airplane, especially a smaller one, propeller driven, you get a little bit of a glide. You can land on a highway, you can land on an open field. Helicopter, you can't do any of that. Once you call in, you're like, I'm gonna crash. It's done, you're over, you crashed. They don't have any kind of wind resistance at all, and you can't jump out. Like say you have a parachute, jump out of a helicopter when it's falling. Now those blades will grind you up. They'll hit you and you'll become pieces as you fall down. You'll be like those cartoons, like when it's cold out, they freeze and they fall and they shatter. What's going on there with the phone? A lot of helicopter action up there. Sometimes when I'm stuck in LA traffic, I wish I had the Hong Kong Phooey mobile. Remember that cartoon, Hong Kong Phooey? #1 crime fighter, would pull out the gong, hit it, and he would change the Fui mobile into a helicopter, or I guess whatever he wanted. Wish I had that in my car. Bang, helicopter, or I'd change it into an airplane. But airplanes, they can't land anywhere. You need room to land. Where a helicopter, you know, comes nice and slow down. That's the benefit of a helicopter. But you know, for every gain there's a loss, and for every loss there's a gain. I really would like to get on those paragliders, motor para, whatever, paranormal. You know, those things they have like a, it's like a canopy. It's like that, I think. Yeah, it's like that. You have the strings here. You could turn this way, that way, and you have a motor in the back, which looks like, you know, a lawnmower. It's got that look to it. And that one, even if you run out of gas, you can glide down. You'd be like, okay, I'm going to go down slowly. The only thing that's dangerous about those is if a nice gust of wind hits you and collapses the canopy, and you're not high enough to reignite and re-inflate it or whatever, for lack of a better word, whatever. But they're pretty safe. But I have seen, they have these videos where those guys crash land a lot. You know, it's like they're coming in, it looks smooth, and then all of a sudden, gust of wind, unseen breeze comes out of nowhere and hits it and collapses it, and then you start dropping like a rock. You know, I mean, the ones I've seen, all the guys have survived, but I'm sure there are times when either you get beaten up badly, you get up with like a broken pelvis or something, or you don't make it at all. But I'm fascinated with that. It looks so cool. You get up there, and, you know, maybe I need the hard edge. What do they call those? You know, it's like a harder. It's got metal beams, so it can't collapse on you. Maybe those are safer. But I used to watch somebody on YouTube. He would go up. He's been up. I saw a thing that said he was up 15,000 feet. That's high. It's a little hummingbird there flying around. I know they don't get tired doing that all day. Got to be in good shape to, you know, constantly flap, flap, flap. Try doing that for 3 minutes as a human. Yeah, there it is. Constantly flapping. So anyway, I'd like to get one of those and try them out. But I would get like an app for the wind. I actually have an app for the wind. And I would look for a day where it's not windy. But you know what's funny, you go up there, it's nice and hot down here, nice and warm, feels like you know, summertime, and then you go way up there and it's like 10 degrees out there, or up there. I saw one, and he's a popular one, I'm sure you can find it if you put the paramotor gliders, I don't know what they're called right now, but it says something about having coffee at 15,000 feet or 14,000 feet. So this guy goes up there, he's got his little grinder. He's got the water, he's got everything, you know, he pours the coffee grinds in the coffee maker, and then it percolates. And then he pours it in his cup there, and he's sipping it as he's flying around. I think that's awesome. I would get one of those things and try and get to an uninhabited island. Probably run out of fuel halfway, and then I'd fall into the ocean, and the Coast Guard would have to find me. And you know what? When you're flying over the ocean, a little man floating around in the water is impossible to spot. You literally have to have nighttime, and he'd have to have one of those strobe lights, you know, otherwise you can't find them. They blend in with the waves and the little choppy white stuff, the foamy waves. Can't see that. And if you fly too low, you can't see enough ocean, you know, and then you have to keep going back and forth. But I would like to do that. I imagine if you could put enough fuel into one of those and go to an uninhabited island somewhere in the South Pacific, which is, I know, far from here. I mean, you're talking like about 1,500 miles. There's no way. Like the only thing you can do with that is probably like 100 miles, maybe. I'm not even sure if that's possible, but 100 seems right. Fill it up with gas and go. But I wish there was a way I would go to an uninhabited island down in Antarctica, be sitting on that thing for hours, and they don't go that fast, and they barely move. They go like that fast, right? So you would get all like your legs would fall asleep on you, and they'd get all crampy on you, and then your back would hurt. You'd have to get up and walk around. There's no place to walk around. So they're good for short trips. Anything bigger than that, you have to go TWA. TWA. But I'd like to get one of those. I do understand the danger, though. I understand it because I watch the videos, and some of those guys, they go too close to telephone wires or treetops. They clip them. Thing collapses. They go into the bushes. They're all injured. They come out beaten up. But it's like a motorcycle. Eventually you're gonna crash. Eventually you're gonna fall off the bike. I had a regular bike. How many times did I fall off? A lot. Especially at the beginning when I was learning. I can't tell you how many fire hydrants I clipped. And you see the fire hydrant coming, and for some reason, I know it's like that thing where you look at it and you steer towards it. You gotta look somewhere else, and you still go that way. But yeah, I've hit many fire hydrants in my prime. Painful, some of them. But I'd get one of those and just go up to the sky. You have to like find spots where it's legal. You can't just go up anywhere. Like even if you're up at 7,000 feet, a plane could be coming in for a landing and you can get into the engine. So you have to have clearance by the FAA. Got to call them up and say, I got to fly my paraglider, motor paraglider. You got to look that up because it's going to get on my nerves if I don't find what the actual word is. All right, let's see what we got here. Is this it? I think so. Yeah, this is it. Parajet. Backpack aircraft. They sell the parts here. I can buy it here. So it's actually called paramotoring. Welcome to the sport of paramotoring. That's what I want to do. It's amazing. You can go all over the place. Looks very fun to me. Looks very fun. Oh, wow. So you can buy, they have the engines here. They have the motors. I use the correct word because they don't say engine. So the price is here, the cheap one, $7,700, $77.73. Then you go up a step. So you get the Maverick Cadet. Then you go up to the Maverick Neon, which is $82.58. Then you get to the Maverick 2, right? And that one is $88.50. That's okay. Then you go up to the ultralight Zenith. The Zenith, I like that name. I had a Zenith television in my room for years. If I got one of these, it would be the Zenith. So the Zenith, a little bit cheaper. It's a Pro R, and it starts at $82.38. You know, I don't know. I'll check the difference between the Maverick 2 at 8850, and then you got the actual body itself. So, yeah, I would love to do that. Imagine if, and I don't know if I can do this, but imagine you fly from LA all the way to Catalina Island, land there, set up a tent in the remote location, a little fire there, you cook a nice steak, you know, American Wagyu, maybe a can of beans, right? Nice can of beans. And then the next morning do a little hiking, have a nice breakfast, eggs, sausage, maybe a English muffin there, glass of orange juice, some coffee, the crystals in it, and then fill it up and come back to LA. You know, I got to find out what the distance is. I don't even know how far Catalina Island is in terms of miles. I know you're on the ocean, it becomes knots, but I still use miles. All right, I'm not into the knots there. So anyway, yeah, I keep seeing this thing popping up every so often here, and I'm very fascinated. Where'd it go now? It's that thing with, here it is. Have astronomers found extraterrestrial life on a distant planet? Here's the discovery. I hope they found something. I know what this is. They're probably going to tell you that. They're probably going to tell you that they found the residue, the you know, the gases that exist as a result of life, organic life existing on the planet. That's what they're going to tell you. Probably they've found, I don't know, oxygen, or they found carbon dioxide on there, and from that they could say there's something there, because you need life to generate those gases, right? But yeah, I'm very disappointed they can't find anything. It's like they're searching and searching, and I know Neil deGrasse, or deGrasse Tyson, I like deGrasse, has a better ending to it. It's more of a slope instead of deGrasse, which all of a sudden it stops. But Neil deGrasse Tyson, I'm a fan of his. I like him. He's a, you know, interesting guy. I enjoy listening to him. I actually watched the entire video of him down in Antarctica, which is a place I'd like to visit. So I like him a lot. It's like interesting guy. I'd go listen to him at a lecture. I don't agree with him on everything. I agree with him on a lot of things, but not everything. I don't know if I know anybody that I agree with on everything. I don't think so. But you know, he talks about life and things like that on other planets, and I'm sure, not based on any knowledge, but I'm sure there's got to be something just on the vast size. We can't be the only ones. We're the only ones. That's it. The universe got it right one time. That's it. And not right. I mean, it was able to create us, or life in general, that one time, intelligent life. I don't think so. I think they're out there. I think they're very far from us, probably, and we can't reach them. But if they're advanced enough, they can probably reach us. And I'm not into that nonsense. Well, it's impossible. It's impossible for us. You know, these scientists, they come out there and they tell us what's possible. How do you know that? You know, what are you, like 10,000 years advanced, and you went and saw, you know, the future somewhere, and you know what's going to happen? You don't know what they can do. You know, that annoys me about scientists when they tell you it's impossible to do this. They used to say it was impossible to travel at the speed of sound. You know, if you look at old articles from, like, you know, 70, 80 years back, all the scientists, or at least the majority of them back then, they all believed that impossible. You can't go speed of sound. Impossible. Speed of sound now is considered not that fast, Mach 1, in terms of military aircraft, you know. And they've done that. They've done that. So you don't know what's possible. If you knew it was possible, it would be boring. You'd know all the stuff that could be invented, and we don't know. I'm sure, 100 years ago, if you told them that this thing would exist, somebody would say that's impossible. Impossible. You're gonna have little images on a screen, and you send messages to the other side of the planet. That's impossible. And I'm sure if you told people that there's going to be like 14,000 satellites by the year 2025 outside circling the planet, they would tell you that's impossible. That's not going to happen. So I don't listen to that when they say it's impossible. It's impossible right now, but what about in 500 years? What about in 1,000 years, 10,000 years? If humanity keeps going at this pace, I know there's going to be wars, and it's going to set us back. But if the research continues, you hear that? That means I have to stop for a moment. There's a bird went by itself. Anyway, if humanity keeps going at this pace, knowledge doubles every 8 to 10 months on certain things. Can you imagine the technology in 10,000 years from now? If we exist, if somebody pushes that button and nukes us. But if we exist, if everything goes smoothly, 1,000 years from now, it's impossible to comprehend. It was impossible. That bird went by again. I almost thought it was a bat. But it's impossible for us back, in the 1880s to comprehend today's world. Who would have thought the stuff that's here now, technology, would exist today if you were living in the 1800s? So right now, if you asked anybody, those guys that are futurists, they kind of predict things. They think they're predicting things. Some of them get a few things right. But if you were to ask them, what would the world be like? Or what is the world going to be like in 1,000 years, or 10,000 years, or 1,000,000 years? Impossible. Nobody knows because it's, so many variables. But anytime I hear a scientist say it's impossible to do this, they should add at the end of that sentence, it's impossible to do this right now. But given enough time, who knows what's going to happen. Imagine in the 1700s you told somebody, yeah, they're going to have these steel mechanical things with wings, and they're going to fly across the ocean in 5 hours. They'd be like, yeah, you're crazy or something. Who's going to do that? Impossible. So everything that exists today at one point seemed impossible. See the cat there. I put food out for the cat found it. They could smell that stuff from a mile away. A lot of action out there with the sirens tonight. Evel Knievel. Wonder who came up with that sound. What if they had a contest years ago and they said we need a sound that when the police are in hot pursuit, or the fire department is going towards some emergency, we need a sound to let the public know to get out of the way. And somebody came up with that. To me, it sounds like somebody crying. It sounds like tears, crying. That's what sirens sound like to me, like an exaggerated crying sound. And I think that's what it is. I think it's just somebody was thinking, like, let's make somebody sound like they're crying, but intensify it. And that's what that is. So anyway, I am really hoping that in my lifetime, that we make contact with something out there I don't want to say up there. That's ridiculous. Anybody who says up there doesn't know what they're talking about. There's no such thing as up and down in the universe. There's no down in the universe. There's no up. Everything is the same. You know, you can't say I'm going up. Based on what? You know, if you're sitting here and you go, I'm going up, yeah, it's based on you sitting here and going up. But once you're outside of the planet, there's no such thing as up or down. A lot of people will say, you know, like the north is up. North is not up. You thought it was up, it's not up. South is not down. It all depends on your perspective. You know, it's like if you flip the planet this way, then north is down, if you want to call it that, and south is up. Whoever came up with the maps decided that they were going to make the north be here and the south be here, but you could easily flip it this way. There's no such thing as up or down. I don't know why they came up with up or down being north-south. South is down, north is up. You know, up is, I'm going up this way. Up is not going that way, because that's where north is right now. You know, that's just me going that way. It's not going up. Anyway. Yeah. Astronomers have found some kind of, astronomers discover signs of possible alien life on K2-18b. That's a small b. I don't know why it has to be small. A planet 124 light years away. That's far. Doesn't sound far, 124 light years. I will tell you exactly how long it would take to get there using our fastest rockets. So let me see here. Give me a second. So, if you were traveling at the speed our fastest rockets can go, and you left right now, right? And you didn't take any breaks, no stopping, 24/7 you traveled, it would take you 2.3 million years to get there. Now let me try that again to make sure it's correct. It doesn't go, hold on, I might have made an error because the calculator apparently thinks that's a big number and it gave me an E thing there, so hold on. Okay, so 19. Yeah, 2.3. So 2 million. Hold on, I gotta take this call. All right, had an interruption, that telephone call, I had to take that. Anyway, so yeah, it would take 2.3 million years traveling with our fastest rocket to get to this planet, which is 100 and what I say, 24 light years from here. They always say, oh, that's in our backyard. Yeah, okay, it's in our backyard compared to the rest of the universe, but not really in our backyard. My backyard is like, you know, if you want to make that comparison, that's the moon, right? If you want to make an analogy like that, that's the moon. Our moon is in my backyard. That is not my backyard. 2.35 million years traveling in the fastest rocket we have, which would be about 38,000 miles per hour. So you're traveling at 38,000 miles per hour, and it'll take you 2.3 million years. It's just a number that is hard to wrap your brain around. And that's just close by. I'm sure tonight, if I find out the star that planet is going around, I could easily find it in the night sky, and I'll be like, oh, it's right there. But to get to the right there takes millions of years traveling at our speed. Let's see, what's the and I like how they have to put, this is for somebody who doesn't know anything about the galaxy we live in. They say the planet is not in Earth's solar system. Really? You have to explain that? At 124 light years away, of course it's not in the Earth's solar system. We don't even have a day, a light day, in distance from the sun to the mini planet Pluto, dwarf planet. Somebody must have been reading this and saying, oh, I wonder if that's in our solar system. So the writer of this article had to put in that it's not in the Earth's solar system. So let's see if it tells you the star. So they found chemicals that fall under the category of biosignatures and that could indicate extraterrestrial life. Revolutionary moment, they call it. University of Cambridge. Niku Madhush Ud. That's a hard word. Apparently some scientist there says this is a revolutionary moment. Had a news conference on Tuesday. It's the first time humanity has seen potential biosignatures on a habitable planet. So 700 trillion miles away in the constellation Leo. 700 trillion, wow, a number bigger than our deficit. 700 trillion miles away in the constellation Leo. It orbits its star every 33 days. That's fast. Now, what's the star? Tell me the star's name. So far, scientists have found 5,800 exoplanets. It's not bad. They've only been finding them since the 1990s. I'm telling you, once we find one planet with intelligent life, then that's going to open up a door. We're going to start finding them all over the place, and we're going to be like, how did we not notice this before? That's how it is. It's like when I hear a song I've never heard before, I'll be like, oh, it's a cool song. I never heard that song before. And then after that, I keep hearing it everywhere. You know, you start noticing things you missed the first time around. So let me see if I can find the star. K2-18b. K2-18b. Let's see if there's another source here that gives you the name of the star. Where is it? I see. I see. So the planet is K2-18b, and the star, which is a red dwarf, it's like our size sun, right? Ours is a dwarf, is K2-18 without a B. And this one here is a red dwarf star with 2 planetary companions. They know it's 2. That's incredible. From 124 light years away, they can tell that it's 2, because that effect where the planet goes in front of the star and it dims it. So let's see what else. Now let's see if I can find it on my app. K2-18. Hold on. Alright, it's gotta be somewhere. Search. Nothing coming up. I know it's got to be in here, but let's see if it has it in here. There's tons of stars. I put the search, but it wouldn't come up. No, they don't have it in here. That's, wait a minute. Yeah, they don't have it. That's weird. I thought they had them all in here. Let me try again. Nope. Not coming up. Not coming up. Let's see. Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool. So right there, I can't see with the naked eye, but it's right there. There's a galaxy, spiral galaxy. And it's NGC 3031, and it's right there. It's a bit bright out. I mean, we got city lights and everything, so you can't really see it, but it's right there. And that one is does not tell you how far it is here. Let me see if I can find the other ones. Big Dipper. All right. So yeah, there's a Cepheus. There's a star out there. It's 200 light years from here, 280 light years from here. I think most stars in our galaxy are dwarf stars. There's very few that are those giant mega stars They don't last long, the big ones. You know, Betelgeuse is going to expire soon. But the ones that are the size of our sun, those are the ones that are more stable. They have a better chance of allowing life to flourish on them because they last long. Where the big ones, they're too hot. I mean, they're too big. They a lot of heat and they burn out quickly. So there's no time for life to run its course. You may not have any time for any life to form there. I mean, if you came here a billion years ago, you wouldn't find any humans. You know, 10 million years ago, 100 million years ago, we weren't around. But eventually, because the sun is stable, and we're in a pretty stable part of the galaxy, that there's peace long enough where life can start moving and, you know, becoming more complex as the time goes. But yeah, there was a... I'm not sure where it is now because can't see it. Maybe it's this. Nope. Oh, there it is. I see it. So yeah, there's like 5 or 6 galaxies in that area right there. It's amazing. Each galaxy is a monster, you know, reality where it's almost like it's its own universe. Just every so often you have a cluster of these things. I wonder if there could be a different kind of reality that's not based on planets, it's not based on galaxies, it's not based on open space, it's based on something totally, you know, unimaginable. But yet it's a reality that's out there. We just can't see it because it's not part of the universe. Who knows? Anyway, that's it for now. Ciao.